Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Tanay, Shah, and I'm a fifth grader here at Design 39 campus. It is a great honor to be standing here today among the world's best educators, and I assure you, I do not take this honor lightly. I've been a student here at Design 39 from first grade and just completed my fifth year at campus. There is no doubt that I've gone a long way since being a little kid to being a big kid. Learned some real technical math concepts, such as fractions, the importance of grammar, and all kinds of things about my favorite two subjects, robotics and science. Yeah, I truly know about photosynthesis, anatomy, can code a robot to do some missions, and even learn about thermodynamics. My mom does say my handwriting needs some work, but I'm working on it. Here at Design 39, our teachers, or LEDs, have a very different way of teaching us. Here we are active participants in our own educational development. You often find us solving problems. You often find us solving problems, participating in simulations, investigating real-world problems, and developing practical solutions in order to inspire change at the local and at the global levels. We develop
No, not yet.
We develop a fascination with the subject that we're learning about. We obtain a relevance to life, and finally we obtain accomplishment in mastering it. This leads me to the 8 guiding principles in this school, which are design thinking, inquiry, technology, communication, collaboration, growth mindset, connecting globally, personalization, and creativity. For the purposes of this audience, I thought I'll give you some insight from a 5th grader on how we go about learning here at D39, and how we use AltSchool and student agency to facilitate our learning. We kids are natural learners. We love to explore, question, build, test, and discover. Here at D39, we are empowered to take charge of our own learning. And so how do we do that? Well, we start by setting goals around a topic that we want to learn about. Then we work with our LEDs to turn that into milestone steps that we can achieve. From there, we're off designing, collaborating, and researching. And we end up with a speech, a model, a prototype, or a movie. As an example, we use a personalized math pathway, which uses the concept of student agency. Our teacher gives us certain assignments, which lays out the math pathway. And we all start at the beginning. And then each one of us is empowered to take charge of our own learning by walking down this pathway at our own pace. We learn math concepts by watching Zoom videos and practice by climbing the Tower of Power. And once we've mastered the concept,
So sorry. Wow.
We take a test and earn an exit ticket and move on to the next concept. And rather than just simply talk to you about how AltSchool helped us, let me show you.
Nada, no se entendería. ¡Será banana!
The fastest way to empower students is to make them responsible for their own learning and show how their work matters in the real world. By creating an environment where our effort impacts other people, D39 helps us recognize the tremendous power a student agency can have, even while we are still, you guessed it, students. As a simple example, As a simple example, we can write an essay on how space radiation is a huge problem for our astronauts. And that's a good way to learn. But take that same topic and challenge to design a prototype to separate neutrons, protons, and electrons, the power energy for the machine that can protect our astronauts from the radiation. Now you're talking. I'm like all other 11-year-olds. I do love video games. However, on a lazy Sunday afternoon, instead of playing hours and hours of mindless video games, we choose to be makers, designers, and storytellers. You often see us selling products as part of created as part of Maker Faire, and donating those proceeds to the Reedy's Children's Hospital. This is where AltSchool and Student Agency really come alive for me. We become business entrepreneurs for a day and use AltSchool to understand and communicate with our teachers on concepts such as cost of goods sold, revenue, and gross profit. And let me show you how AltSchool helps us. Here's what happens when you own our own development. We fall in love with learning by finding joy in pursuing our passions and geeky interests. We embrace a maker mindset as we work through the design process and launch your way to the real world. We become designers, engineers, builders, artists, and tinkerers. We learn how to solve problems and create solutions. We develop an iterative thinking, viewing mistakes as a chance to learn. This leads from a shift from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. Whether it's a Maker Faire project or Explore Vision report, we know we're going to make tons of mistakes. However, we view it as part of the process. The idea isn't to embrace failure as much as to embrace failing. Failure is permanent and fixed. Failing is a temporary thing in the journey toward success. We know reflection is an integral part of our learning. It helps us realize what we did well, our glows, where we need to improve, our growth, and the things that we overlook, or silly mistakes, or groans. I'm serious, take a look. I cannot speak enough about the benefits of AltSchool. But if there's one feature I'd like AltSchool to have, it would be allow us students to assign cards to other students so that we can hold each other accountable for our shared group tasks and make AltSchool a place where we can put all of our collective work together. This way we can take our collaborative efforts to the next level and truly own our project.
I'm going to introduce you to that guy right now.
I love Design 39 because here we learn through hands-on activities, whether it's becoming a entrepreneur and making a business plan as part of Maker Faire, and making a profit, might I add, or finding cures the West Nile virus as part of Explore Vision, or giving a passionate, persuasive speech convincing my peers why the book I chose as part of March Madness Book Challenge is the best book ever. My friends and I say it's hashtag Beyond Fantastical. And so how do we do that? Well, we have an exceptional leader at the helm, Mr. Joe Pelding. And of course, we cannot forget any of the learning experience designers from my first grade to my 5th grade. They've been mentors to us, guiding us through different learnings and activities. To conclude, I'd like to leave you with a quote from Mr. Joe Pelding. At D39, it is about helping students be life-ready, thought leaders who elevate humanity. So, thank you to Design 39 for instilling a lifelong love for learning. Thank you to AltSchool for being a new age platform where the thinkers of today can communicate and become the innovators of tomorrow. Thank you all for giving me this opportunity to speak before you today. Thank you.
Tanay, this is Jim. Jim, this is Tanay.
Oh, yeah. So any questions?
We have like 12 minutes for questions.
I guess I answered them all. Oh, yeah.
Can you describe failing that you had in a group activity and how you resolved it?
So we, actually, if you go.
Yeah, go back to keep going. Go ahead and talk.
Oh, sorry. Basically, we in PLTW, which is Project Lead the Way, which is our version of like mechanics and stuff. It's our it's our way of it's basically like robotics and stuff. So we had to come up with a robot that we wanted to design, and so everyone in our group had to come up with a robot, and we didn't know which one to do. So, sorry, let me backtrack a little bit. So our original robot had failed. It did not do as we planned it. It did not. So then we had to create 4 different robots, one for each one of us, and we had to use the design matrix to figure out which one we wanted to use next. So that is how we resolve failing.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Yeah.
If you expand on how you might want to share cards with other students, I'm interested in just your thought about how that might work.
So repeat the question.
The opportunity.
So
What was the question?
what?
Yeah, repeat the question.
So the question was how can you expand on how all the students can assign cards to other students? So really, it's just for us so that we can hold each other accountable, so that we get our group tasks, group projects done on time, and our share of group tasks on time. Because I noticed that cards have due dates, so it kind of intimidates you.
Talk more about that. Explain more.
So it kind of intimidates us. Oh, I got to get this done. So if we could assign cards with due dates to other students, it could hold each other. It could intimidate us.
Or maybe keep the group on task.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Anything else?
Joe, is it okay if there's no questions right now for tonight, for direct questions for you and the general around D39? And tonight, if there's another question
Perfect.
for you, then
Big
we'll-
round of applause. Super appreciative. So one of the things that we talk a lot about is we used to, in the very first year, have student